Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. And before we go any further, because it's a bit early and I stayed up a bit late. Do you know what I've noticed? There's people out there copying my coffee sip. Oh yeah. One of them, I don't mind. Step one, survival. Staff Sergeant Badass. He started out just teasing me, and it just kind of became his thing, that and the music, and I get that. That's cool. But there's a couple other people who are copying it. I wonder if they even know they are. I think they do. They don't quite pull it off, though. It looks like they're acting. All right. Woke up this morning. Man, it's raining. I came out here to shoot, and it's raining. It's supposed to be sunny today. We're going to talk about North Korea and white racists. That's where we're going today. But seriously, I said something the other day at church. I can't believe how wrong the weathermen are around here. You know, they say it's going to rain for 10 days straight, and then it doesn't rain for 4 days. Or the weather report for yesterday changed like 3 days in a row. Sunny, rainy, sunny, rainy, sunny, rainy. And then until yesterday, it said it was going to rain today. And then it said last night and today, mostly sunny today and tomorrow. And now it's raining a little bit. Although we call this liquid sunshine. Hi, okay. Drudge headlines today. Kim Blink's doomsday averted. Was it? Was it? See, the story that most people seem to be focusing on, because that's what the media is focusing on. And I tell you, I hate the media more and more. They're willfully trying to do bad things. I think what the media is trying to do is set us up so that when we attack North Korea, mark my words, they'll say Trump's crazy and a warmonger and blah, blah, blah. Because what the average American is thinking right now, because they watch TV and listen to talk radio, neither of which I do, is that the reason we were going to attack North Korea is because they were going to nuke Guam. That was kind of like the storyline. For you more intelligent Viking, for you more intelligent people who happen to be Vikings, you know that's not true. But that's kind of what the storyline was, and that's what the average man on the street, to the extent that they thought of it at all, thought. But here's what Kim said. He never said he was going to nuke Guam. He said he was going to launch, I think, up to three missiles. He might consider launching up to 3 missiles over top of Japan and have them land in the ocean, 40, 50 kilometers outside of Guam. Showing that he could if he wanted to. But he never said he was going to hit Guam. He was just going to make a demonstration. That was unacceptable to us. We really thought that was going to happen pretty soon, and if it did, that was probably the trigger for Trump to launch on him, right? And hence all the buildup and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff doing his little talk. It's like telling everybody, if he does this, we're going, right? But why do we want to attack North Korea? Because we have said repeatedly that a nuclear missile program for North Korea is unacceptable to us. Excuse me, the nuclear missile program is unacceptable to us. It is unacceptable to us for North Korea to possess nuclear weapons. Has Kim said he's going to stop producing nuclear weapons? Has Kim said he's going to stop shooting missiles at all, testing them, therefore getting better at his nuclear missile program? Heck no. And he's got the whole world going, whew, thank God we dodged that bullet. So that when he keeps working on his nukes, when he keeps working on his missiles, and we go spank him, that will make a lot of people go, see, he wasn't doing anything. He didn't even shoot at Guam, and we went after him, man. I don't think Trump cares a whole lot. His counselors do. But Kim did not say, okay, you're right, I'm going to stop my nuclear weapons program. So there's that. I'm glad you got ready. I don't think it's over yet. It's not as... We have more time now. We, the U.S., has more time to play this out. I think Trump's hand was basically going to be forced if and when Kim had launched those up to 3 missiles towards Guam. I think we would have went then, which was my 2-week, let's do this thing. Now what's going to happen before we go, and I think we're going to go, unless Kim abandons his nuke program, and I don't see that happening. Trump is going to have to build up more support and get his story out there about how Kim is still dangerous and yada, yada, yada. So I think we may have longer than 2 weeks now. How's that? Now we can go more at a time of our choosing. Our hand won't be forced, that kind of thing. I don't know. Peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys, and what we try and do is keep it level, right? So just keep your eye on it. I don't think we've dodged a bullet, so I don't think you should go hoo-hoo and, you know, go pour out your gas in the gutter because you don't need it anymore that you saved up or whatever. All right. I have read a little bit and watched since the other day, nothing at all, on this white supremacist thing. See, that's another thing that's getting spun heavy by the military. By the media. More coffee is indicated. Stand by. One, I don't care. I did something for the Jarls the other day where I talked about getting played. Or just being played. And I'm not, because I really could care less. This racial stuff, I dislike intensely. Hate's close to it. Racists of all stripes. Hey, I'm with Martin Luther King, man. Let's judge people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I'm all for that. There are real racial issues and problems in this country on both sides of the coin. I think there was probably Soros and other evil globalist money on both sides of the Charlottesville thing and on both sides of the other things that are coming. You know, Richmond, this, that, and the other thing. Amp up the noise, get everybody mad at each other, get people fighting. Let's hope we get some people, this is not me hoping, they hope that, you know, they get people shooting at each other and stuff, because then we can take the guns away, or try. Because, you know, don't forget, the goal is to conquer America. It's also to conquer you, Australia and Germany and Czech Republic and, you know, Ireland and Scotland and all the other people that are listening here. There is an agenda of the elites to be in total control, and what they want to bring back to the world was more of the this is going to show I'm not a history professor, but like the feudalism type things when there were the haves and the have-nots, and there were very little people in the middle. There are those of us who are dressed nicely and have slaves carrying us in our little wagons who eat strawberries from, you know, 1,000 miles away. And there's the muddy people digging around. There's some lovely filth over here. You know, eating gruel, right? And thankful that they have gruel. the haves and the have-nots. And they're trying to get to that because then the haves can dictate to the have-nots. They don't have to put up with these troublesome little people anymore. That's what they're trying to do. And to do that, they have to divide and conquer. Which might be another reason why war, I've been wondering, the elites want a war with Korea. Don't make a mistake about that. They do. They want a war with Korea because it's going to kill a lot of American servicemen. A lot of American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines are going to die in that war, which then weakens us as a nation and sets us up for the knockout punch. That's one of my theories. So then, why is the media, right, their arm against this war right now? Because I think the timing's not right. Because what would a war do to Americans? What would a war do, especially a bad war, a hard war, a tough war, to the black, white, brown racial divide in this country? It would unite us. We'd be waving our flags and proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. No, you're not. But it would. And so that would work counter to the spin they've got going right now, where let's all hate each other and let's all drop innuendo against each other. And, just make people mad at each other. So, yeah, it's ridiculous to remove Confederate statues. It's ridiculous. And even more so to remove them and destroy them, right? That's one thing. Because the Civil War, here comes a news shocker to some of you, was not about slavery. And Abraham Lincoln did not free all of the slaves. He only freed the slaves of the states that were in rebellion. Example, Maryland had slaves. He did not free the slaves in Maryland. He said, in order to preserve the Union, I would free all of the slaves, none of the slaves, or some of the slaves. Words to that effect. The war was not about slavery. The concept of slavery did have an aspect of division between the North and the South, sort of, but again, Maryland had slaves and they were in the North. That's not what the war was for. For states' rights. It was also an agricultural versus industrial dynamic. So that's a false dichotomy, and I'll just say this, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And people are going to do stupid things because people on all sides of this issue, except the string pullers, are thinking emotionally. They're not really thinking, they're just emoting. And because of that, they're being played, they're being led, and the chaos will amp up. I read today something about, how alt-right violence was the cause of death of one woman who got killed in the car crash. And 2 state troopers who were flying in a helicopter trying to contain the violence. Well, that's a lie right there. The police were not trying to contain the violence. So that's a bold-faced lie. They were not trying to contain the violence. They were letting the violence get out of control so that they could then just shut the whole thing down, right? My wife was talking to me yesterday. She goes, well, you've always said, and she said something I've said since I was a second lieutenant in the Army. I think you as an American have a right to burn the American flag. First Amendment, man. Free speech. I do believe you have a right to burn the flag. But if someone burns the flag in front of me, I would hope that the judge would take into account my years of service to this nation when I break that person's nose for doing it, because it would offend me, right? People have the right to think and say and believe what they want. I saw somebody saying we ought to declare, my wife was reading it while I was driving, I don't know, Nazis or neo-somebodies or something, declare them all as terrorists. Look, you can believe that Well, here, the black Hebrew Israelites believe that whites are Edomites and are basically less than human and deserve to die. The white-eyed devil, right? There are strains of identity Christianity that believe that blacks are mud people, and they're not even really people. They don't deserve to live, right? Same thing, two different sides. First of all that thought is of Satan, right? All that racism is of Satan. But as an American, they have the right to believe what they want to believe. And as distasteful as it may be to us, they have the right to say what they believe. And nobody should try and shut them down. And it's just rude for people to shout it when somebody else has the floor. You know, when someone has the soapbox or somebody has the stage, it's rude to shout them down and not let them say what they're going to say. And if people are rude, then other actions can spiral out of that, right? Which is why I like living out here. Yeah. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And being in the cities, that's where the chaos is going to be. That's, you know, because it's ultimately all war is a battle for the minds and hearts of the people, right? The will. That's where the people are. Why do you want to be involved in that? Because I've got a good job that lets me buy a TV that I can watch Fox News on. Okay. Don't get caught up in riots and protests and things like that. It'll be bad. One of these days it'll be real bad. Some agent provocateur or a real crazy stupid person is going to do something ultra violent at one of those rallies. What a mess. What a mess. All right. Don't be hating on people. Try to do productive things today, because look, blue skies shining on me. I am going to get at least 1 and maybe 2 loads of mulch. It's free now at the place where I get it. So I'll just go there, they load it up with their tractor, their big front loader, and I come home and I make a pile of it. I used all my mulch that I brought back the other day. And really what I want to kind of do is stockpile some mulch. I want to have a couple piles of mulch around here. So that's my day. We're probably going to put a gutter on the avocadage today or tomorrow. We're going to try and do that so we can catch rainwater. And I have a breakfast waiting on me inside. So hey, don't let your guard down if you were thinking about it. Don't believe almost anything you read in the media. You ought to just start reading all news stories and asking yourself, what are they trying to get me to feel with this article? What are they trying to get me to believe? How are they trying to manipulate me? Because that's what all news stories are doing. And the truth is usually almost 180 degrees out in many cases. So think about that. Don't be hating your brother out there. Can't we all just get along? Probably not, which is why, you know, you need to pull back a little bit. But don't be hating people. Don't be part of the problem. All right. Hey, I'll see you out there.